Okay, 4:30. I'd like to call to order the North Oakland Transportation Authority Board meeting. Today's Thursday, October 21st, 2021. We're here at Gillespie Street in Oxford. Let's pay respects to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, we got to do roll call.
Bill Dunn.
Here.
Mike McDonald. Here. Bruce Pearson.
Here.
Mike Buzz, excused at Brakefield. Margaret Payne.
Here.
Lori Boudreau, absent. Ann Kelch.
Present.
Did I say that right? Tanya Walkwell.
Yep.
Chris Barnett. Roberta Mikowski. Still young.
Move on to the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions?
I'll make that motion. We approve the agenda as written.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. No other questions? Roll call, or excuse me, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the minutes. Would there be a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved. I'll second. Okay.
Moved and seconded. Brakefield for the second.
Doesn't matter.
Questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the director's report. Lynn?
Good afternoon, everyone. So our total rides through September were 25,499, which is up 28% from 2020. Based on our numbers, our average miles per ride are 14.26 miles for each trip, and our cost per trip is $40.74. We actually received our FirstNet phones, and we actually implemented them yesterday, so they're up and running. This is the new phone system. It's a two-way with dispatch and our drivers, and so far they're really happy with the reception. Again, this is FirstNet is kind of the emergency responding. I think a lot of the fire departments use FirstNet. You have to qualify in order to use it, so the drivers are really excited to have phones that are actually working right now, so we're happy with that. We had our NODA annual training with CARE. They come in and do drug and alcohol sensitivity training for all of our new drivers. We hadn't had that since before COVID. So we had a catch-up meeting, we had an employee meeting, we actually had dinner. It was a wonderful evening. I did a presentation, kind of give them a history and updates on what we're going forward with, and it was a really positive meeting. It went well. And as far as the meeting with Mark and the attorney regarding the Act 196, we had a meeting with SMART and MDOT and RTA and MODA yesterday. It was a Zoom meeting. There was like 15 of us, and I think MODA was kind of misled in Mark with what the Act 196 was going to offer them. It really doesn't look like there's going to be anything new as far as funding available being of Act 196. The only advantage of becoming an authority is just from a taxing standpoint that you can tax as one authority versus three separate authorities that we are right now. So it was it was like an hour and a half long meeting, but it was informative. I think it's different because we're in this Metro Detroit area, so everything is a little different for us. If we were in Lapeer, I think it's a little bit different. So things would be offered separately that you can directly go with MDOT. Since we're under the RTA and SMART, they're the designated recipient, and we are just sub-recipients. There's no way for us to go directly. So, and we did get clarification that RTA, if we had the RTA and if we decide to go and become an authority, the RTA still would be able to tax us as well. So we are not exempt from the RTA. That would be under umbrella. It doesn't exempt us from taxing, both having two 196 authorities, because there was some question about that. But apparently they view it that they're two separate taxing purposes, and so then they would be able to tax us both. So that's kind of the update. Mark didn't write a letter because we just had this yesterday, and so I think we just wanted to give you guys an update and see really a purpose of him writing a letter. I thought I could update you with that just verbally from yesterday.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you. Was there any discussion or any input from the RTA people about how they expect to treat us in this situation? A discussion on parity or, you know?
They're very much aware of our concerns.
Mhm.
Like Gary Wall from Waterford was there, Rick Hamill, from Highland Supervisor was there. They were all expressing the fact that they are very concerned about the RTA and being taxed. They're very aware of it. The RTA just came out with their, I think I shared it with you guys, their plan.
Yeah.
I think I emailed
Yes.
it this last week. It just came out. I asked Ben Stupa, do you have any idea of when you're going to go on the ballot? And they don't have any idea. But it's obviously working towards becoming on the ballot. This is a first step. So I think if that email shows kind of it's a progression of steps. So they've issued the plan, and then they have to go through, various meetings to kind of firm it up and whatnot before it gets close to when they decide when they want to go on the ballot. But he wasn't forthcoming at all as far as dates or times.
Any percentage or any, what was the millage that they wanted?
They wanted 1.2 for 20 years, I think, last time, but there's they're not saying anything with that yet. So it's just kind of a general plan without any specifics,
They don't want anybody to drop out.
Right.
That's all they're
So
doing,
it's
is
just.
prolonging it.
So I guess my question is to this board, if the Act 496 is not going to, if the only advantage is to create a taxing authority, is that something we really want to go forward with? I know for Oxford it will be a hard sell if that's the only advantage. Because we have some bad history there with the taxing authority.
And I would diddle that on Addison because
We want each individual unit to be able to vote whether to have it or not.
Yeah.
Right, my biggest thing was the funding. I was really
Yeah,
hopeful that
and I was all on board with that, but I'm just
Absolutely.
looking at it now and thinking, I don't think we can sell it if
Right.
that's the only advantage.
It's not that big of a deal going separate, for
Yeah.
3 of them. My biggest thing, I was trying to get the extra funding. So.
Absolutely.
As long as we're performing, our duty in, putting on a good product for our
Right.
citizens, I don't see any problem.
Right.
I don't, but the advantage for RTA, they're going to be the big person in the room, okay? And they're not going to provide us any service out here, but they're still gonna tax us, we know that. So if we are taxing ourselves to provide our service, they're not going to take that into consideration that we're going to get a discount or anything because we're providing a service that they aren't providing?
They did say potentially that we would be able to get some of those funds that are, allocated to this area for our service. And if that's the case, then we can adjust our separate millage, if that's the case. But that's it was a general overview idea, not anything specific.
And can I ask, what was WODA's opinion of, did they have anything?
They weren't very happy with any of that, yes.
I know
But,
Rick Hamill very well.
Yeah, so.
We grew up a block apart. So, yeah. So
No,
they're
they were not very happy with that, and so, and I think, so Jean from MDOT was there, so she was the one that was at the conference presented, and she just, I think it's just confusing because the Metro Detroit area is a different animal than the rest of Michigan. So I think it's confusing for some of the project managers that think that, it's the same, and it's not. It's just, we fall under Smart and RTA, and that's just how it is, and that's what we need to deal with, so. I know.
You got
It was
some
worth
more?
a try, right? It was worth a
Do you have
try.
any more you
No,
want to
no,
read
so
us
anyway,
here?
it was worth a try.
You got any more bad news?
We're still waiting for Smart to decide what dispatch software they're going to use with our RFP. It's supposed to be the end of the month. We keep saying that. It's always the next month, but hopefully we'll here soon. We are expecting 4 new vehicles from Smart. These are replacement vehicles, they're transits, and I was actually surprised that they called last week and said that they're pretty much ready to go. They're in their lot, so that was good. We're still waiting on the PPP forgiveness portal to open. You know, once, yeah, I feel like, you know, we meet the qualifications, so I would think that we should get that loan forgiven, which would bring in an additional $140,000 of basically grant funds, which would be great. All of our employee reviews have been completed. We still need to complete the review for myself with that panel selected, and I'm just going to look up the panel numbers. I don't remember who they were. I'll have to look back and see. Discussion on the employee raises should continue as well. I know we're thinking of that now that the reviews are done. Current inflation is 5.3 right now for this year. Current driver salary is $14.42 to $15.45. An increase of 5.3% would be up to $16.27. Just doing some comparables, like Orion School Bus subs earn $16.50. The regular employees are $16.80 to $19.96 over a 5-year increase. Amazon drivers are starting off with no experience at $16.50. Mr. C's car wash is paying $16 to kids, basically. It's an unusual year with employment shortages, COVID, and inflation, and I believe we should look at the value of the job being done and not just percentage. We also received, which is wonderful, good news, we received an additional $75,000 of grant funding for this year. We got, which was just last week, we got an extra $50,000 check in the mail. It was extra, which was amazing. And another $25,000 I was able to bill onto another grant. So that's going to be for this year. So in the next month, I'll have to redo the budget to actually basically put that into contingency, but that's an extra $75,000, which is wonderful.
Is that slated to go any place specific? I mean, are we tied to any rules?
It was for expenses already made.
Okay,
It
so
was just
operating.
reimbursing operating expenses, and
Okay.
they had some additional funds that weren't used. Then we had expenses that we weren't able to get reimbursed, so they were able to reimburse $75,000. So I was really, that's a good note.
Yeah.
I did do some pricing on health insurance, and we kind of opened up the conversation. There's, for 6 employees, looks like the cost would be about $60,000 a year for the 6 employees. So that's it. Thank you.
How does this board want to handle the possible increases in wages for not only the drivers, but
My recommendation was 5% last year, and I think we both agreed to that. But Social Security did go up 5.9. I would be amenable to the 5.9 because I believe, I hate to ask what everybody's ages are that are driving here, but I bet most of them are seniors, am I correct? And they're getting a 5.9% raise on their Social Security, and that's really not, that's just barely going to keep up by the time you add Medicare increase. So I would be agreeable to the 5.9 because I could sell that to my community.
you know, the other day I mentioned to our board, when they brought up the 5.9, and I told them, I says, even if you give the 5.9, when you see all the increases in product and things you have to buy, you're still losing,
Right.
even at giving the 6%. Everything else is going up much higher than that, so
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the 5.9.
I can sell to my community 5.9 because that's what, I have a lot of seniors. They're getting 5.9.
Oxford Township is giving out, or they're planning on giving out 6%.
They just approved 6%, yes. So, I would go the 5.9.
I can see Bill's eyes right now. He's saying, "Okay, Bruce,
No one needs.
do I hear? Do I hear 6%?"
No,
Well,
no,
we're in a
I was
different
just giving you the
situation.
information. that-
I agree.
Because we didn't give anything in Oxford Township last year,
Yeah.
even
We
though
gave
we had
nothing.
probably 1 to 3% increase, you know, with the cost of living. So we figured, well, 5.9, we'll give them 6%.
6, it's easier math.
Yeah.
Now, last year, it was a 5% increase last year, wasn't
3%
it?
Those
Drivers?
for the drivers.
Well, the only other thing I want to mention is that, for information, the Headley increase is 5%, no matter what the cost of living is. So our taxable value is max can go if the cost of living index that they use, doesn't matter if it's over 5, it can only go up 5. I just wanted to mention, so we're aware of that there is a cap on what we'll be able to tax in revenue. I know we got extra revenues, and I know our rates may need to be comparable, and if there's any interest in any benefit issues, something to consider too. So just wanted to share information.
I would say though that we are increasing the homes. We're a community that's expanding, so we're also collecting more tax revenue too.
Right.
So I mean, and we're providing more service. So I don't. If we were a community in the south end of the county and we were losing buildings and home values and stuff, then I'd see. But I think that's not an issue.
Margie?
So I know we can't vote on this tonight because it's not on the agenda, but I'd like to request that it be on the agenda for next month, and that we get this taken care of. Next month is November. We're coming down to the end of the year, and we need to, kind of set this up.
Everybody kind of agree on that for
Yes.
next month?
Also, you are giving is it 6% in Oxford?
Yeah.
We already gave 6% for the
Next year.
employees. We haven't decided on elected officials.
Right.
What do we want to do about discussion of healthcare? Are we going to keep putting this off, or?
I have a thing, and I probably shouldn't let this cat out of the bag. But we're looking at something for one of our entities it's actually a trust, so it's a Viva. It's a match, a healthcare match. Well, but that would work because that's for retirees, so that's fine.
Well, we could look at HSA or something.
Yeah, you could only do HSA. Well, yeah, you could probably do HSA because they don't have insurance.
So when do we want to talk about this?
Well, I'd like to just add just one little thing. When we're talking about health care, first of all, are we talking about one single person, not their families? I
We're
hope,
talking
because,
There's 6 people.
but does that include families?
There's 2 that are married that would have their spouse, but we
But
could do
see,
either
that's
one,
where,
or we could do.
that's, my cost right now for a fireman with their family is over almost $20,000.
I'm surprised it's that low.
Ours is
Well,
25,000.
they're contributing too.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25,000. The trend in the future is the employee only gets the health care, not the family and the spouses.
Sure.
Because one person is somewhere in the neighborhood of $800-900 to insure, but when you add their families on it, it goes up
800 or 900 or 800 or 9,000?
$800 or $900 a month.
Oh, a month.
I have quotes from an HMO, like Blue Care Network, in-network deductible of $1,000 to $2,000 is, it has their rates, but it's, I think
It
it's
goes by
between
their
four,
age,
yeah,
though.
by their age,
Yes.
but they're between $450 and $800 a month.
Depending
person.
on their age.
Per person, yeah. So,
I'm in negotiations every year on
Right.
this, and I'm just saying that the cost is extremely high for, and we insure families, and in the future, I don't know if that can continue.
right.
What if you did employee only and add the HSA that they can contribute to, that the company doesn't contribute to? If you go with a high deductible insurance,
Sure, then they can,
then they can have an HSA, you can
Right.
have an HSA, and they can, that would help defray some of their costs.
What about looking at healthcare allowance amount?
I would be happier with that.
That way, it doesn't matter if you have coverage, you don't have to change it. Because we have that opt-out option at our village. If you don't take the insurance, we will pay you a
Right.
fixed dollar amount
yeah.
for it.
How many
I
of
get
the
that.
employees are under 65 that you're talking about?
Actually, most of them are. There's only one that isn't.
Because what the county offers is that they pay their Part B, which is $148.50
from Medicare.
Yes.
Right, we have one that's up in this group. So most of ours that are over don't want to work full-time, so these are, yeah, so.
So you're throwing out the number 6, is that how many full-times you have, is 6?
The full-times that are not Medicare. Because he
Okay.
said it doesn't make sense to quote the Medicare because they're on Medicare, that would be primary. And they said the rates for them would be astronomical, so that wouldn't really.
Actually, wouldn't Blue Cross would be first?
No,
No,
Medicare's
Medicare's
always
first.
first, always.
Always
Here's
first,
mine.
secondary
This would be-
is your healthcare.
I disagree. I was part of this last year, and when I went in Blue Cross,
He sent me an email saying I excluded this one employee that was over because Medicare's primary and this would be secondary. and the
Medicare
secondary
is
rates would
always
be
primary.
okay,
Yeah, because Medicare could pay 80%, and then your health care will pay the other 20.
well, I'm gonna respectfully disagree, I might be wrong.
I mean,
Could be wrong.
that's how it works for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it works that way for my husband. And you might want to check on the HSA, because I'm not sure you can use that after age 65.
Okay.
Or an HRA or something, some kind of allowance.
So when do we want to really get into this, I mean, other than tonight?
Well, if we're
Next
not,
month? Go ahead.
if we're gonna handle salaries next month, I think we should remain focused on getting that accomplished and then look at the future from there. If we're gonna do benefits, it's not gonna affect the whole organization if we don't do it right away. It will be something we can
but it's
prioritize.
just, out of all the 6 employees, none of them have health benefits now?
One is currently, does have it. The other one, another one is paying for it on their own. And the other ones don't have it.
They have no insurance whatsoever, no spouse
And that's why this came up,
insurance.
is because an employee got sick and felt couldn't go to the hospital because he didn't have insurance. It was just kind of like, oh, he's been with us, you know, working full-time for years, and I just, yeah.
Could we think about it for a month?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna
You know,
tackle
I'm happy to
the,
go back and give any more information you want.
Let's not let it disappear though.
well,
Right,
I want to keep the dialogue going.
okay.
So we're going to be doing wages next month.
Wages next month, okay.
Any other questions on the report from the director? Would there be a motion to receive and file?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment? Seeing none? Would there be a motion to receive and file the financial activity report?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the bills. Questions on the bills?
It's 116, 469.18, that's correct.
That's right.
I move to approve the bills that for $116,469.18.
Been moved
I'll second it.
and seconded. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dunn,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Wakefield.
Yes?
Kane.
Yes.
Couch.
Yes.
Waffle.
Yes.
Young, yes.
On to old business, none. New business, none. Public comment.
Cody?
Back at you. Would there be a motion to receive and file the monthly rider and mileage report?
So moved.
Move. I'll support. Get my name on there. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Board member comments. We'll start with, I have none. Mike?
Good.
Margie?
Nothing.
Bruce?
I'm good.
Ed?
I'm good.
Dave? Joe? Everybody good? Would there be a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Moved and seconded, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Only to get the authority on this blue cross